is Heather from Fork in the Loaf. I have to do a bunch of dressings for a young women's camp that I'm doing, and I want to take some of my dressings up there, and I'm going to do a honey mustard, an Italian, and then I'm just going to make some basic ranch, which I do have a video. I'll link it down below to my ranch dressing. And I'm going to tilt you down and just kind of show you what I'm doing. Okay. I'm going to use equal parts honey, mustard, and mayonnaise. I am just using a regular store-bought mayonnaise. I'm using regular store-bought honey. Normally I like to do it with a homemade mayonnaise and a local raw honey, but it's for a crowd and I don't want to make that much. So I'm going to start with a half of a cup of mayonnaise and ish. I'm going to put in a half of a cup of honey. And then I'm going to do a half a cup of mustard. I don't know if I have a half cup of mustard in here. I'm pretty sure I don't, but I want to use that up first. And that's such a pretty sound. I like to add a little garlic powder to it. I would probably, in this much, I'd probably put maybe about a teaspoon. You don't have to put garlic in it. You can put onion powder in it, which I've done that too, which I think the garlic kind of helps mellow out that mustard a little bit. And then I'm just gonna pour it into a jar, little mason jar. Scrape out all the goodness. I like to date it because you don't want something just left in your refrigerator for who knows how long. And so today is June 7th, 21, which you don't have to put 21 because you're not going to have that in your fridge for a year, hopefully. And then I like to put honey mustard, just an HM. So I'm going to cap that and I'm going to stick that in there, and I will be right back with the next set. The first thing I want to do, again, I have one of my little jars that has the measuring on the sides. And I'm going to start with, so you can use a red wine vinegar. I have a tendency to like white wine vinegar better for some reason. And I'm going to use about 2 tablespoons. I think more than that, it has a tendency to be just a little bit too tangy. I'm going to add some of my spices now. Black pepper, I like to add about a half teaspoon to a teaspoon, 3/4 of a teaspoon. This is red chili flakes or paprika. I'm going to put in about a half of a teaspoon. Garlic, I will put in 1 teaspoon. Italian dressing is definitely a garlicky dressing. Onion, I'll put in a teaspoon-ish. Italian seasoning. Now this is where it gets really basic and really easy. I'm just going to throw in a teaspoon. And a teaspoon of salt. And I'm going to add oil up to the 3/4 cup mark. And this is just avocado oil. So you really could emulsify this, but I'm just going to give it a stir. And I'm going to get a taste for the flavor profile of it. And then I'm going to add some mayonnaise to it. And I like the mayonnaise because it gives it that creamier consistency. And I also, you can put Parmesan cheese in this, or Parmesan Reggiano. There's, I'm sure there's a couple of those hard cheeses that you can put in. My daughter really shouldn't eat dairy, so she's got a problem with the casein in the dairy. So we do a lot of A2 milk, but it's kind of hard to find an A2 Parmesan. So I just want to taste this and make sure my seasonings seem about right. Tastes good to me. And then I'm gonna add probably about 1/4 cup. Maybe I should have pulled this out, but I'm gonna add about 1/4 cup of mayonnaise. And I'm kind of scraping bottom on this mayonnaise container. Again, I like to use my own homemade stuff, but sometimes I think that this stuff tastes better. Sad to say, but true. I mean, I like my homemade mayonnaise for a lot of things, and I often use it for my ranch dressings and my dressings. This is the wimpiest little whisk I've ever seen, but it works really, really good for these little jars. And we've had it since, I don't even know, for as long as I can remember. I think my mom had this. So I'm gonna try a little taste of it. It's pretty good. I think that I would let this sit because the dry herbs in it are still really dry, and they need a chance to kind of flavor the what is that called? Infuse with the rest of the stuff. I did put mayonnaise in here, so the shape, it's not shelf stable, but it'll last in the refrigerator for a good week or two. It does have dry herbs in it, which will, and salt and vinegar, which will all help keep it from going bad too fast. Had I used fresh garlic or fresh herbs, you would want to have this down within a week. And that's it. So I've stirred it. You can emulsify this if you want to. I kind of like adding the mayonnaise because it kind of helps emulsify it for me. Whisk it a little bit, or you can put a cap on it and shake it. I'm going to date this, I'm going to label it, and I'm going to stick it in my fridge, and my daughter will have this done probably in the next week or two. She'll have this down. She likes to eat salads with Italian. It also works great as a marinade. And again, if you want to add a Parmesan cheese or something like that to it, you can do that. But this is just a very simple, very basic Italian dressing that we kind of like. And then the third dressing that I took with me to the camping trip was my ranch dressing. And that's where I do have a link to that, and I will put that down below in the description, or I think it's the description down below. And it shows you how to make the mix, and then how to make the mix into the ranch dressing. One of my favorite ways to do it is to use milk kefir in it, so that you're getting good healthy probiotics. And sometimes I'll sub that out for the sour cream, and I won't add any milk. I'll just use mayonnaise and milk kefir, and then I'll add the dressing mix to it. So those are my 3 favorite dressings. It's kind of our go-to dressings in the home. We usually use Italian, honey mustard, or ranch, depending. Right now I'm trying to avoid a lot of sugars and carbs and all that stuff. So this right here would be great. It's got good healthy fats. I use pink Himalayan salt, and it's got dried herbs and spices, so that's going to be good. And then I can use my ranch because I don't add any sugars to that. But it does have, I think it's probably got some carb content. I haven't looked at it. But anyway, I'm going to cap this, stick it in the fridge for at least half an hour to an hour so those herbs get a chance to infuse, and then we can use it for dinner. It's been a long time since I put a video on, but there's some changes that I'm going through with my diet for health reasons, and so more on that I hope to come. I think I'm heading towards that direction with my videos. I'm trying to veer a little bit away from sourdough. I still make sourdough because most of my family still eats it, but I think we are slowing down a little bit on the sourdough consumption, just because I feel like we were eating it all the time. And the sourdough I love. I still love the sourdough. I just don't eat it much right now. Trying to figure out some health stuff. And then I will try to get more videos on here that are in relation to what I really believe in: whole foods. I really believe in cooking from scratch, and I really believe in cooking things that are full of healthy, nutritious stuff. Not, I am just trying to feed more. I'm trying to be even more conscientious of whole foods, of nutrient dense, and of scratch cooking. So they're easy to make. They take minutes, and it's just a matter of, like usually what I do is I stand at my spice cupboard and I just pull it out and put it in, and then I put it right back. But this, it helps me to show you. Okay, so third dressing. It's one of my favorites. I love taco salad. I love the lime cilantro combination. I don't love ranch dressing, but I do love lime cilantro ranch dressing, I guess is kind of a rendition of the ranch. My aunt used to make one too, and I'm not quite sure. I think she would use like the Hidden Valley Ranch, and it was my favorite, hands down, dressing was her. She used, I know she used tomatillos, and she used jalapenos and cilantro, and I've got a bunch of that right here. My aunt's lime cilantro ranch dressing is probably hands down my favorite, but she would use the Hidden Valley Ranch packet, and I don't use that. I make my own ranch mix. So the first thing I need to do is I need to make a mayonnaise, and I'm going to use limes in this one because it is going to be a lime cilantro ranch, so why not, right? So I'm going to crack an egg in here. I'm going to add about a half a teaspoon of salt. And I'm going to add the lime, the juice of a lime to this. And I don't really want it to be too limey yet, but I am using the lime for the acid. I'm going to use the whole lime. Why not? It's a lot of lime juice. Most of this mayonnaise is going to be for this dressing anyway, so. And then I'm going to fill it to the 1 cup mark on my jar, which is part of the reason I love these jars, is because I went a little bit over. And then I'm going to take my stick blender. I just have a Cuisinart that I got from Costco. It has this and a whisk attachment. But I'm going to stick it in there. I'm going to give it just a second to settle. I want them to layer. I want them to have the egg on the bottom, and then the juice of the lime, and then the oil on the top. Part of the thing with making mayonnaise to get it that thick stuff is you blend that oil in slowly. So if I have everything settled on the bottom that I need settled, it's going to pull in the oil slowly. So I'm going to let this sit here for several, probably close to 30 seconds to a minute. You'll feel when it starts to get thick. I'm giving you a video on mayonnaise. I'm not making mayonnaise for the video. Maybe I am. After a few seconds, you'll feel the mayonnaise getting thick on the bottom, and then you'll start tilting it. I'll show you. Well, it didn't get as thick as it usually does, and I think it's because I got people watching me. Just kidding. I don't want to wash this yet because I'm going to use it for other stuff. Okay. I'm going to put in here, I'm hoping these have some of these jars have that, but this has 1 cup in it, and I need about a half a cup of mayonnaise in here. So I'm just going to drop this mayonnaise into there till I get, I don't know if you can see through it, but I got about a half a cup in there now. I'm going to add, I think I'm just going to stick right there with the lime. I think I got a lot of lime in there. We'll see. We'll see what happens when we get more stuff in there. I'm going to do a jalapeno. And for jalapeno, I like to wear gloves because I'm a wuss. I have had those burned for days on my fingers. Gotta have a chicken bowl. Burned for days on my fingers. So I'm gonna pull this. I'm gonna take a clean spoon. And I'm gonna pull the seeds out into my chicken bowl. I do not want this stuff on my fingers. We love the taste of jalapeno. We just don't love the hot. I don't mind some heat, but my family, they don't love hot. So I try to get all that hot stuff out. And the membranes and the seeds is where the hot is at. So, all right, so then I'm gonna take these, and I don't have to I was thinking I had to fine dice it. I don't need to do that. I can rough chop this. So I'm just gonna do like a rough chop, and I'm gonna stick that in my tall glass. Now I can get rid of this. In here, I want to add my tomatillos, which I'm gonna put both of the tomatillos in there. I'm gonna go give these a quick rinse after taking the paper off. There's kind of a, not sticky, but sticky. So I'll be right back. For these, I'm just going to rough chop these as well. I want to put these in my sauce. And I do really like the tomatillo in there, so I'm gonna go ahead and use 2. And I remember her recipe called for 2. Like to have cilantro, and you want a lot. The cilantro is kind of the main flavor profile of this. And I just take it stems, leaves, and all. And you just need to do rough chop, because again, my mixer is going to do most of the, or my stick blender is going to do most of the work. And yes, I did wash this stuff already. You kind of want to make sure your veggies are clean. And then I'm going to add some garlic. Probably about a half a tablespoon. We like garlic, so I don't mind it being a little garlicky. And then I'm going to add about a tablespoon of ranch dressing mix. Just a little bit. I kind of like to do a little more rounded. That kind of came out straight. Came out flat. All right. And then I would normally add sour cream to this. I don't have any sour cream, but I do have some milk kefir, so I'm going to use some milk kefir, which is very similar in flavor. And put about a half cup of that in there. And I'm going to stick blender it. Needs more lime. Okay, so I add a little more lime and it's about perfect. So tonight I'm gonna do a lime cilantro chicken. I just got off the phone with my husband and he wanted to do a soy chicken and nobody else really wants to do it. So I think I'm gonna do a lime cilantro chicken, and we'll do some, probably some rice for them, and maybe some lime cilantro cauliflower rice for me. I don't know, we'll see. Maybe I'll just have vegetables. Anyway, so that is my third favorite dressing. So I've got, or actually fourth. So I've got the honey mustard, the Italian, which Vanessa, my youngest, and I love it. We've got the ranch dressing, and then this is a lime cilantro ranch. So I hope you give them a try. They're easy. I think they're better for you because they don't have all the junk in them that you get from bottled dressings. I think they taste better. They're a little more versatile. I can make them according to how I want to make them instead of however they make them. And I can use the oils that I want to, and I can use the ingredients that I want to. This, because it has so many fresh ingredients, it's really only good for up to a week. Even after 5 days, it starts pushing it. So give it a try. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any of your favorite, share your favorites in the links below.